So that was us maybe 30 years ago, like when we started. And we faced a lot of challenging projects in our professional lives.
In the middle of a project stage, your ROI is depleting, right? You can fix it. And second point is we need to consider both tangible and intangible benefits.
Schedule performance index also. Where we say like the time is money in project management, right? So SPI measures how efficiently we are using our project timeline. Good evening, friends, and welcome to another episode of Tech Samvad. I'm Pramesh, and today we are diving deep into the project management performance landscape. Imagine being told you have just 30 days to complete a project that could make or break your entire career. So that was us maybe 30 years ago, like when we started. And we faced a lot of challenging projects in our professional lives. And that's what we want to discuss today. One of the key things that would actually help you in your journey today.
Yeah, and see, this topic is not only for project or for project managers. So for every technical professional, they should understand the basic concept of KPIs. It is not going to help them for their project or program or product management, but also this concept will help in driving their own professional growth. So let's understand what is the basic KPIs which we need to understand and we need to implement to our project.
So before we jump into those top five, let's understand what KPI really means. So key performance indicators are not just metrics. They are like the heartbeat of project management.
Absolutely, and they are not just numbers or on a spreadsheet. These are basically strategic insight that can make or break your project success. So we need to understand that.
So let's talk about the return of investment first. Let's talk money. So ROI is ultimate financial scorecard for any project, right? Which basically, like if you talk about things like you calculate your net profit and then you see what is the total project investment, and then you also see what is the total project investment times 100. So if we talk about this, we deduct total project investments from net project benefits and divide that with the total project investments and then multiply it with 100% to get the fraction, like the percentage terms of the ROI.
Yeah. So, Pramesh, let me throw a real kind of example with numbers. So maybe that will help our users. So let's say your project cost is 10 lakhs, right? And then it generates around 15 lakhs value. Then your ROI will be 50%. So some tips for ROI tracking, right? So let me share some tips also. So we need to calculate ROI at the multiple project stages, right? Not at the end of the project. Reason is, let's say in the middle of a project stage, your ROI is depleting, right? You can fix it. And second point is we need to consider both tangible and intangible benefits. And number three tip is use consistent measurement. So it's not like that in few stages you are applying some other kind of method and other stages you are applying different kind of method, right? So these are basically some good tips for
Now,
ROI.
the next one, Shalin, is the cost performance index. So this is like our financial indicator, right? So CPI tells us about how efficiently we are using our project budget. So if you talk about the formula, it's basically the earned value divided by the actual cost. So whatever your actual cost is, you calculate the actual cost, you calculate the earned value, and then you calculate the CPI by dividing the earned value by the actual cost.
Yeah, and see, let me explain the CPI indicator with this formula. What you're going to get. So if your CPI value is greater than 1, then you are under budget. If you are exactly at 1, then you are on budget, and if your CPI is less than 1, then you are over budget. So we need to assess the situation why it's happening.
And then the next one, Shalin, is the schedule performance index also, where we say like the time is money in project management, right? So SPI measures how efficiently we are using our project timeline. So again, if we talk about calculation, it's like the earned value divided by the planned value. So instead of actual value, which was the case in cost performance index, we divide the earned value by planned value to calculate the SPI, because this is about your planning of timelines.
Yeah, and see, like CPI, SPI also has three kind of indicators. If your SPI is greater than one, then you are ahead of schedule. If your SPI is equal to one, then you are on schedule, and less than one, then your project, you're not meeting timeline. You're behind schedule.
Then, Sharing, the next one is the resource utilization rate. Like this KPI is about maximizing human potential, right? And preventing burnout for our team members. So key metrics here is like the billable hours percentage, the overtime hours, and the resource allocation efficiency that way, right?
Yeah, so we need to understand one aspect here, Pramesh, that 100% utilization doesn't mean that 100% productivity. So always remember this, and we need to always leave room for innovation and some unexpected things. So we need to plan accordingly.
That's true. So next, the fifth one is the stakeholder satisfaction index, where which is often overlooked because this is a very crucial and important KPI. This goes beyond the technical metrics because like the way we measure measurement, the way we measure this is like by regular feedback surveys. Then we take net promoter scores and the qualitative and quantitative assessments that are done throughout the project.
Yeah, and always remember a project can be technically perfect, but fail to meet your stakeholder or client satisfaction due to various reasons.
And Shari, like implementing these KPIs isn't just about tracking rate. It's about the strategic interpretation that we do for the projects.
Yeah, that's why we have KPIs. It's not only for tracking, but we need to read it and understand, take the pulse out of it, right? So some of the examples I can share, like predictive potential project risk for KPI, you can do that. You can do data-driven decisions, and then you can continuously improve project management process leveraging KPIs.
Yeah, modern project, like if we talk about modern project management tools, right? Like Jira, Microsoft Project, and Asana, these can actually automate most of these KPI calculations. So you don't have to remember like what was the formula and all that, but try to understand the concepts behind that.
Yeah, see, one cautious word for our, I will not say cautious, but friendly advice here for our project managers, that don't just gather data to create KPI. You need to gather data, but create using KPI, create actionable item or actionable insights, right? Then you are going to improve.
Sharin, there are also common pitfalls that we need to avoid. Like beware of over relying on single KPIs. Use your judgment, and then that way, like don't ignore the context. Generally, what we do, right? And manipulating metrics to look good. That's also like I've seen that people do that.
See, we need to remember one thing. There is a thumb rule. This project or program or product management community. Just KPI are guides, not gods. So use it there.
Yeah, and project management is an art and a science also, right? So these KPIs are your paint brushes and color palettes that we do.
Yeah. So whether you are managing a small team or a massive digital transformation, these KPIs will be your, I can say these KPIs will be your North Star. So you need to pay a lot of attention.
So keep innovating, keep measuring, and most importantly, keep learning. So I think that's all that we have today. So if you have any specifics, let us know. So we'll sign off today, and we'll meet you in one more episode of Tech Samvad pretty soon.
Sure. Bye-bye.
Bye.